Hello, everyone. You are at WordPress Tampa Bay. You are here tonight for our Ask Us Anything Crowdsourcing WordPress Support Workshop. I am Jim True. I'm the lead organizer for WordPress Tampa Bay, and below me is Travis Lopes, Elaine Simmons, and Jennifer Novak, our co-organizers for WordPress Tampa Bay. Welcome. It's great to see you all. I think we have any viewers at all at the moment, but that's okay. We'll continue on. Let's get started with our podcast. We are here monthly on the third Tuesday of the month at 6:30 p.m. We're doing online Ask Us Anythings, these little AMA things, and we're discussing doing in-person quarterly socials. We've done 2 so far, and they're pretty good. Our WordPress, our Meetup website is meetup.com/WP Tampa Bay. Our website is wptampabay.org. On our website, we have a Slack chat, a Facebook group, and meetups, all our links to those 3 things. And we are a member of the WordPress Tampa Bay network. That is a combined meetups across all of Tampa Bay, which is Tampa, St. Petersburg, Brandon, Rico, Newport Richey, and probably Lakeland soon. We decided to consolidate into one meetup group because it just made life easier. So our upcoming meetups and events. And tomorrow, coming up quickly, October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and WP Engine is doing a webinar online tomorrow on WordPress security. You can still sign up for it and still register for it. It's called Proven Ways to Protect Your Site. Here's their little brief on it. It says, because WordPress is so popular, it attracts the attention of nefarious actors who attempt to exploit vulnerabilities like outdated plugins or core files to gain unauthorized access to your site. Join us on Wednesday, October 18th, in parallel with Cybersecurity Awareness Month, as we discuss how to keep your WordPress website safe, identify where vulnerabilities may exist, and share actionable recommendations for protections. So you can register at tinyurl.com/register-wp-engine, or you can just go to, I think it's events.wpengine.com, and it should be listed at the top of the screen. So that's tomorrow. If you're interested in that, definitely register. Wrong screen I'm clicking on. I keep doing that. Nope, I'm on the right screen. Okay. In November, our next Ask Us Anything will be November 21st, the week of Thanksgiving. We'll try to keep it light and quick so that folks don't have to hang out for too long, but it should be fun. It's another one of these in November. And in December 19th, we're going to have another one of these. We may swap one of these up for a class on either doing migrations, or maybe we'll talk about security best practices. We'll see. And we are looking for speakers. If you speak in WordPress, web design, front end or back end, plugin reviews, theme reviews, anything pertinent to web design, but primarily connected to WordPress. If you've never spoken public before, no problem. We'd love to hear you. This is great for your resume, your LinkedIn, or your Twitter. And you can find out more about it at our website at wptampabay.org/speakers/call. Our code of conduct tonight is there are no stupid questions except the one you didn't ask. Need to stop doing the ums over here. We're going to limit our question discussion to 10 to 15 minutes so that we can kind of keep it within the hour framework. And any more discussion than that, honestly, and you should be hiring a consultant anyway. And everyone gets to speak, but no crosstalk, please. That's primarily if you end up dialing into the call. You just want to make sure that you don't speak over the top of other folks because we're online and it's kind of hard to get that cue sometimes, though I think everyone's getting pretty Zoom aware now about raising your hand when you need to speak or whatever it is. Our dial-in etiquette, we're using StreamYard, and an invite link is posted in Facebook. It's posted on Facebook and YouTube chat. The guest instructions are included in that link. You need to first make sure that you've got your connection configured properly and that you've tested your mic and your speakers. If you're also watching the stream through Facebook or on YouTube, you want to make sure you mute the audio in those windows, because if you don't, we will. Okay, tonight we're doing a new feature. We're going to do a plugin spotlight. This will be our first one of these, and we'll see how it goes. This one is called WP Migrate Lite. As soon as I find it again on my screen, there it is. The plugin you're looking for is WP Migrate Lite, which is WordPress migration made easy. We're going to install that now. Once it's activated, you can find it down here under Tools, WP Migrate. Once you're inside the plugin, we're going to do a new migration, export another site. So we're going to export this site somewhere else. It's going to select tables, post types, advanced options. You can go into tables and make sure you can either pick and choose or do all of the WordPress ones. You want to get all post types. Advanced options excludes spam comments, compatible with older versions of MySQL, and exclude revisions. These are all pretty straightforward. You want to do media uploads. That'll export all media uploads, but also exclude anything that is a backup, a cache, a .log file, or the DS store file from the Mac. You also want to do themes. It'll export all themes or only the active themes. You want to do plugins. Export all plugins or only the active plugins. So in this case, we're going to do active. We're going to do active themes. And you can also be pretty specific about what you want them to exclude. If you're on a multi-site, your must-use plugins or the plugins that come from your hosting company will actually show up in here as well. So you might want to include those just in case. Other files are going to be like your database error log and anything of that nature. The WordPress core file is not a bad idea, especially if you're not running the current version of WordPress on this particular server. Then you click export, establishes the connection, and it'll walk through and do each piece of this. I'm going to speed this up so that you guys don't have to wait for it all to happen. And the export's complete and it wants to save the file. I'm putting it on the desktop for right now. You'll see that it's 1.24 gigabyte. It'll download the file onto your desktop and then you'll be good. While the file's downloading, you can also see their pro features, but the most important thing here is need to work on the site in a local development environment. You can drag and drop an exported zip archive into local. It's that easy. Learn more. There's the actual documentation. Import a WordPress site to local. You export the zip. It walks you through this entire documentation page and you can just kind of walk through this process. I find this incredibly useful, especially if it's a site that has a lot of plugins to update and you're not sure if you're going to break it and the hosting company doesn't have staging. How many times have you had to do a migrate and not known whether it's going to work or not? So this is a great way to test this and do it locally first. Anyway, that's our plugin highlight. So that was our first one of those. I think that wasn't too bad. It's pretty quick. And obviously I just screenshot, or I did the clean shot recording of the entire process, and then I ran it through Descript, which is it's a transcribed editor based, or like a word editor, word processing editor for videos. And it's really kind of cool. It kind of cleans out all your gaps and it transcribes in, adds captions. So it's quite useful. It's my first time actually using it for a production piece. And what I plan on doing is actually creating another video probably within a couple of weeks, and it'll be this same thing, but more in depth. And we'll show what local by Flywheel is, and we'll show how you would actually handle the migration piece of it, and talk about pulling a multi-site site out of a multi-site, and talk about WP Migrate Pro, which is the pro version. So should be fun. Anyway, that's going to be it for the keynote presentation. And so now we're ready for our questions, and ask us anything. All right, remove that guy. Oh, that's weird. Hang on. Is it that one? Yes, that's the 4 window. Nope, that's not the good one. There. Trying to find out which is the best one of these, because this one chops off a lot of stuff. I think we're fine. All right, so our questions tonight. Let me get over there. Our first one that came up was Juliet Metcalf was looking for a developer for my ministry website, ajckg.com. So Juliet, still don't show any viewers, which is interesting. But if you're watching this after the fact, what we do is we have 2 basically locations to go for to get support resources, or to hire a developer, or look for a developer, or that kind of thing within WordPress Tampa Bay. You can go to our, let me share my other screen real quick. Hang on a second. Stop screen. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm going to present my web page real quick. Not that one. Chrome tab. There we go. Okay. So on our website, there's a section that's called Connect with WordPress Tampa Bay. The very first link there is for our Facebook group. On our Facebook group, once you join, if you add, you'll get like a welcome message that you'll see it's actually pinned to the top. And if you ask for a job request or something of that nature or a job, just do a hashtag job and put that in your post and we'll promote it. And most people, when they ask for help, they get a response pretty quickly within the Facebook group. We also have a Slack chat, which you can join. It's not as busy, but you can also ask for questions there. Okay. And speaking of that, oh, that did not look good at all. I think I'm just going to keep our browser screens shared, but I'm going to fix there we go. That's better. Because I was chopping my head off on the browser screen. But we're talking about creating a directory listing for folks that want to provide their services to other people within the WordPress space in Tampa Bay. And we have been discussing doing this for a while, but I think we're getting a little more serious about it. Two of the requirements are going to be, what did we say we were? One was to possibly teach a class on here. Was that right? Or be a part of an AMA.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
A topic.
Yeah, we're still filtering that out. A presentation, something or other.
Yeah, to a presentation or something or other. We basically want to vet you. That's the whole point, is that we want to kind of get you to that point where you're a responsible party, because that's one of the worst things about having a paid directory is that you can pay to be listed, but who makes sure that those listings are good listings? So there'll be a vetting process to get in there. But I think that is something we're going to try to launch through our website sometime soon. And that will be another place to look for jobs as well. Okay. Our next question that came up was from Rich Anthony about security best practices. And that's kind of why we talked about the crowdsourcing or the cybersecurity awareness week. So you definitely, Rich, if you're watching this, you definitely want to register for that WP Engine webinar that they're doing tomorrow. Elaine, you're big on some of the like WordFence and some of those other plugins like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have to use them. I don't want to, but circumstances sometimes demand that I leave a website in somebody's hands, and it's sometimes it's just WordFence, because the client is like, well, I'm not going to update anything. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to update anything because you're not reimbursing me. Or
does WordFence take care of that for them?
It's like it'll inform me, I guess. If I were the admin, it will say problems were found and blah, blah, blah. And once in a while you could go over there and update plugins and such, but you're not going to get hacked as easily, I suppose, in theory anyway. Or it'll let you know if something dramatic is happening.
What about you, Travis? You go through Pagely, so they're handling most of that for you, right?
Yeah, the only other thing we add is we have a two-factor authentication plugin. We only enable that on I'll look that up. We only enable it on administrators, people who have access to the back end of the site. Any critical.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
It is called. Drumroll, please, while the plugin's page loads. Well, it makes all the background requests to see what updates are available. I know that the suspense is killing me.
Oh no, we're just dying here.
WP2FA.
WP2FA. Got it.
Yeah, by the folks at Mellapress.
That sounds interesting.
I have not heard of that one. And is it a free plugin?
Yeah, there are premium features on it, but it is a straight up free plugin to handle the basics. The one thing I would recommend if you do use that plugin is to generate the two-factor authentication codes. It adds a secret salt to your WP config file. If you have multiple installs, like a staging install, a local install, copy that salt from your production config file into your staging and local config files. Otherwise, when you go to your staging site, your one-factor code will not work because it's using a different secret to generate that one password code.
Okay.
Yeah, that one took me a minute to figure out.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good thing to know. Well, I know like there's the standard stuff like restrict login attempts or limit login attempts. There's the obvious stuff like changing the name of your administrator so it's not admin. Most of your good hosting companies, when they spawn up a WordPress for you, they're going to add a special code to the database so it's not just WP _ name of table. So you're going to have like a unique name table in there anyway. So that'll be a common one. And like the site health catches a lot of this stuff too, doesn't it? The tools site health.
It should, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
it's just the standards to keep your plugins updated. You know.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on what you're installing.
Don't keep inactive plugins hanging around and inactive themes and stuff like that. So, okay. Pretty straightforward question.
Keep an eye on like who your site administrators are. If they don't need to be administrators, downgrade them. You know.
Okay.
Good idea. Okay, we had another question from Susan Staton. How to add my WordPress website to social medias? Well, there's a lovely plugin called Revival Posts, social media auto post and scheduling plugin by revive.social. And it was last updated 3 weeks ago. And it is a must-have plugin created to help WordPress administrators, boost their website traffic. It will share old and new content on a schedule and automatically post it to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, LinkedIn, Tumblr. I don't know what that other one is. I think that last one is Wix or something. Yeah. But the main things is it hits the major networks. So that would be what I would recommend. Unless you guys have anything else that you would suggest. Oh my God, I hid you, Jennifer. Here you go. I'm going to have to put us someplace else. Maybe I'll put us up here on the top right or something. I don't know. We have to like find a new place for us to reside so that we're not overridden by banners. Maybe to the right. Yeah, Jen, do you have any suggestions on that one? You're muted.
Sorry. No, I was trying to figure out exactly what she was asking because I think can you put the question up again?
Yeah, sure can. It was just how to add my WordPress website to social medias.
Okay. Yeah, I think the answer would also vary by platform if I'm maybe interpreting that too literally. I'm not sure if she's actually asking how to put your website
physically
on the social media.
Yeah, because that's in your profile.
Because that's what it looks like it's asking to me, but I'm not quite sure that that's what she's asking. So that would vary by platform.
Right.
And then from there, if she's asking about promoting it, definitely that plugin would be helpful. And then from there, I think you're looking also at a lot of like marketing strategy and how do you want to present that information to your audience, and that again would vary by social media platform.
Right.
Your Twitter/X users are going to be different than your Facebook users, who are going to be different than Instagram and TikTok users. So it's you're going to have different audiences. There's going to be some overlap, hopefully, but you'll have different audiences and different ways that people consume media on each of those platforms.
Well, I noticed, at least for me, on a trend with Instagram, it seems like most everyone's doing the stories or the reels.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah, I'm not saying. People still do posts, but they're usually combined with a story or a reel in addition to that, or they'll use that. It's not LinkedIn, but it's one of those link trees, I guess, that kind of creates an archive of all of their Instagram posts, and that's kind of how they connect them. Yeah, I follow a lot of recipe Instagram people, and that's kind of how they handle their content going from Instagram to their website. because they have the recipe posts on their blogs, and they use Instagram to show off the food, either a picture or a reel. And then they'll post like the rest part of the recipe, or say, find out more about a recipe at Linktree, and the Linktree will be over there and have the exact thumbnail. And that's kind of how they build those things. So that's the main thing I've seen in Instagram. Facebook, I don't consume enough anymore to deal with, you know, website links from that. And Twitter has demolished website linking completely. So, and Threads just isn't new enough to. I've tried, but I can't really get into it. So
maybe we should mention structured data if the person wants to rank their blog post or their recipe or their, you know.
Yeah, that's usually
that's a whole different, you know, that's
a
slightly
whole
different.
other world.
But still, it's marketing a post or.
Yeah. We could kind of take every variation of this question and kind of put into a magic 8 ball and just like shake it and like each one that comes up.
There are quite a few ways to interpret that, and ways to tell someone to post it based on, and it's just also dependent upon who your target audience is, what your message, products, whatever you're trying to get across is.
Yeah, I think we've kind of hammered that one down pretty well. So our next question is from Manographic. I am not sure if I can add multi-site with only one domain name. Is only the language it changes one site per language. They don't want add multilingual on the same site. And do I need, for example, by example, one xyz.ca, xyz.com, xyz.fr. So I took this question as being primarily about multilingual, not really so much with multi-site, because the way multi-site works is it's when you install it, there's a primary domain site, and then everything underneath that are network sites. Those network sites can have their own domain name, or they can be, you know, a directory off the primary domain, like wptampabay.org shop, or wptampabay.org members, or wptampabay.org business directory, that kind of thing. And those would be each individual network sites. When you're dealing with multilingual, though, it's a whole another world. Polylang is the one I typically recommend when you're talking about multilingual sites, because the way they typically do it is it's not multi-site, but it is what it ends up doing is it creates separate language translated versions of your site in either their own directory. So they'll be like wptampabay.org/us/en for well, that's English, I guess. ES for Spanish, you know, RU for Russian, that kind of stuff. And that's kind of how those are presented, is they're either underneath the / directory underneath the main, or they're put at the front. So they're like us.tampabay.org or es.tampabay.org or something of that nature. And that's kind of how they handle it. I haven't seen too many that pop the code at the end of the website domain. So, but that's kind of how the multilingual handles on those. I would not recommend going with the multiple domains like xyz.ca, com in France, because that's going to cost a fortune, I think, because you're going to have to register each one of those individually, because those are separate TLD domains or top level domains. So Polylang was an option. There was also Translate. Hang on a second. There's Translate Press, which is another one. Experience a better way to translate your multi-press site and go multilingual directly from the front end. All of these tend to do it in the same way, which is they take your existing site, they give you an interface to translate it within all of your content within the same site, and they then present it in either a menu at the top of the screen where you can pick the language or something of that nature. There's another one out there called WPML. It used to be the primary one that everybody uses, but apparently they have gone paid. And I think that's the only way you can use it now. It used to have a free plugin on the repo, and it's no longer free. But it is the most known one out there.
I've used that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the Google plugin for language translation?
It works. I mean, honestly, most of the translation plugins that are extensions for like Google Chrome, I use translate.google all the time, and it does a great job. But I mean, even Safari for the Mac has, interfaces with the or the Apple's translation interface, and it will translate your entire site for you. But Firefox has an extension like that too. So, yeah. That's not the same thing as having a multilingual site.
No.
Having a multilingual
Yeah.
site is actually having a English version of your site, a Spanish version of your site, etc. And the way those typically work is you create your content and then you translate your content into another language. And then there's also, WordPress can present itself in different languages using language files or the language profile that you're logged in with. But that's only for the back end. Your content is still in one language, so that's not translating it.
Also, doing separate domains, Jim, I think you mentioned like that could be expensive getting the domains. I would say it's not that, because I've looked into that recently for some stuff I'm working on, and the different TLDs aren't terribly expensive. The issue you might run into, for instance, I was looking into a .eu domain, and you can only purchase it if you belong in the EU. You cannot.
Okay, that makes sense.
Not living there.
So if you were a company that had an English base or an EU base, maybe something in Brazil, something, and you could access those TLDs. I know.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the TLD, obviously.
Well, like Denise has a .es one because she wanted something. Yeah. So So, but you have to have permission to get it, or you have to get it through someone that can register it for you. So for some of them,
I just bought it, the .es.
Sweet. Okay.
Maybe it's because
because you can use it for Travis LOP.es.
That is my domain.
There you go. Smart. I wonder if I could get, what would mine be? UE? Is that a TLD? Oh well, too funny. I recently got into the whole TLD stuff for another person's website, trying to get them one of the newer names because there's so many of them now. But anyway,
it's a fun rabbit hole you can go down sometimes of like, how can I make a TLD work so I can do like a link shortener version of my domain?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's not always easy.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. So too fun though. Kind of fun things to think about. Well, like the one I did was Sunset Eye Care, because that was the name of their business, was Sunset Eye Care. So I grabbed sunseteye.care. Yeah. I think we even grabbed sunset.eye, if I'm not mistaken.
But why grab like the fancy TLD version when you can get the .com version of your domain for like $3,000?
Well, yeah, exactly. If you can get it for $3,000, or if they're willing to sell it, that's one of those kind of things. So our next question that came up was from Bert Hoyos. He asked about crowdfunding. Well, luckily, there's a lot of stuff out there. I went to just basically the plugin directory and searched for crowdfunding, and there's a WP crowdfunding, which is a WordPress plugin for fundraising backer sites. This WooCommerce-based plugin lets you launch a site like Kickstarter easily. There's GiveWP, which is donation and fundraising. There's crowdfunding for WooCommerce. There's quite a few options out there. It depends on how deep you want to get into it. There's even Crowdfundly, all-in-one digital crowdfunding solution. So on these kind of things, when you're looking at trying to pick a plugin to work with, go with active installations. See what level it's been tested up to. Go with star ratings, that kind of thing. I would probably, if I was going to recommend a donation plugin, I'd probably recommend GiveWP, primarily because the free version comes with the payment gateways, or I think two payment gateways right off the bat, right? I'm trying to find out where it is. Hang on. I may have to go to their actual website. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think it gives you Stripe And here we go. Be pricing. Stripe and PayPal is in the free version automatically. And you get donor management, unlimited forms, and reporting. So that's why it's a good suggestion for a crowdsourcing plugin. That's my recommendation anyway. How about you guys? You're so quiet tonight.
I can't say I've used one. I don't have anything for you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The only
been a
thing
while since I've touched it.
I mean, I've used Gravity Forms for donations, but I work for Gravity Forms, but that's not my go-to. Especially.
But also, there's a difference between a donation form and a crowdfunding form. You know,
is there?
As far as like content and everything, if you're looking for like an easy setup.
You mean like kind of like a Kickstarter or something of that nature? That kind of
the question.
Honestly,
the topic was crowdfunding.
You know? Yeah. Well, in that kind of situation, why wouldn't you just choose Kickstarter? So, or
I think they take a good chunk of the fees.
Yeah,
like their percentage is kind of high.
Yeah, trying to rebuild that interface though is where you're looking at. So that's where you kind of have to download one of those plugins and test it and see how it works. Because the whole point of a crowdfunding thing is like giving gifts at specific sponsor levels, having a sponsor, bracket and stuff like that. And a Give WP would work just fine for that. So, I think. Anyway,
just see. A brief sidebar. You mentioned when looking for plugins, one of the things to look for is like the date it was last updated.
Mm-hmm.
I would say for bigger things like a crowdfunding plugin like Give WP, yes, you would want to look at like the last updated date. But for smaller ones, I wouldn't necessarily judge the plugin if it hasn't been updated in a while. There's some plugins like I have one on the Doubter repo that it truthfully has not been updated in like 3 or 4 years.
Which one?
The entry expiration. It's going to say differently. It's going to say let's find out when it was last. The third one right there. Yeah. When was it last updated? 3 months ago. Yeah. All I did was updated the tested up to number.
Right. Okay.
Like don't necessarily judge like the last updated date because sometimes like the code was written, the code works, and the code doesn't need to be updated.
Right. Exactly. That's the whole thing was it tested up into a current version? And then, because that's what, not pods, but there's a couple of different plugins I've seen that as long as it works, that's what they do. And that's enough. So, yeah.
But then if you update that tag, it does mark it as last updated. They changed it as last update.
Yeah. Oh, we got a question from the peanut gallery. Sorry, you're not the peanut gallery out there. You're actually watching and typing a question inside our YouTube chat. So here's a question from on the question of the cadence of these meetups. Is it the third Tuesday of the month? That seemed to work for October, November, December at least. Yes, Dave. Our meetups are on the third Tuesday of the month. We were doing the first Tuesday of the month, and we changed mid-year this year. So, and that's kind of how we're going to go on. We took off for the summer, which we typically do when it's when basically everyone's going on vacation and it's warm and stuff like that. We kind of take off for a couple of months in the summertime. And here's another question from him. Dave asks, appreciate knowing that this group exists. I posted a job request on the Facebook page for some help installing an SSL cert. Thanks so much for the support. You are very welcome, Dave. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, as long we pretty much go through the Facebook group. I try to check Facebook at least once a day, at least once a day. And if you have a pending application, as long as you've answered all your questions on the application, we tend to approve those pretty quickly. And if you posted with the question, like a preview post, I will look at it and see. The only ones that I don't approve, honestly, are the spammy ones. And it's pretty easy to tell who the spammers are. So I'm glad you enjoyed our Facebook group. And yeah, we're going to try to get a little more active on and try to give some more varied content on the streams instead of just doing Ask Us Anything. We're kind of trying to blend it up a little bit. So we appreciate you watching. Thank you. It's always nice to have somebody ask a question in our YouTube chat. All right. So we have a question from Debbie Placide or Placide. How to do WordPress. This is the first time. Okay, I am going to direct you to our frequently asked questions on our website. Share this tab instead. So when you're on WordPress Tampa Bay, let me bump that up a little bit. There we go. When you're on WordPressTampaBay.org or WPTampaBay.org, you want to go to WordPress support and either click there or you can click on FAQ. The WordPress support basically links our support channels, which is the Slack chat, the Facebook group, and then you have a frequently asked questions. The very first frequently asked question is, I don't know anything about WordPress. Do you offer beginning training? We don't, because beginner training tends to be classes that are way over 2 hours. They tend to be at a minimum like an entire day. And we just don't have the resources for that kind of stuff. So what I recommend you do is right here. Some of the absolute best resources for beginner level learn at your own pace WordPress instruction are available at LinkedIn Learning. It used to be called lynda.com, and you can still get there by typing lynda.com, but it's called LinkedIn Learning. The one that I've got linked below by Ali Nimmons, she did it last year, provides probably the best instruction for WordPress essentials, and then you can round that out with other videos on WordPress at LinkedIn Learning, or Ask Us to do meetups that touch on specific topics. Also, this is a big one here. Most library systems have an arrangement with LinkedIn Learning that allows you to log in with your library card, and you can watch anything in their content library for free. So like these links are both lynda.com, but they still work. And honestly, if you click them, it's going to work for whatever library you happen to be at. So like, I don't have a library ID right now, but you can, the library ID is the end of the LinkedIn Learning invitation link. So, okay, that's interesting. So you can get that from your library. So if you go into your library and ask them about LinkedIn Learning, they'll tell you if they've got a free connection. So Hillsborough County definitely does, and Pinellas County definitely do. So that's my recommendation on those. So, how about you guys? Any suggestions on learning WordPress for beginners?
I mean, those would be my first suggestions there, and just searching YouTube, seeing what you can find there, just to make sure it's
YouTube
what your
has a lot,
expectations
actually.
are.
Yeah.
And maybe play with it a bit on oh my gosh, my mind went blank.
Local.
The test server, yes, local. The test server, you can play with it a little bit there. So I would probably recommend that in addition. And it might be that you want to check out Lynda a little bit first. You can also check out, as dry as it is, WordPress.org has documentation on it, like on the site. So you can just kind of.
Oh, wait a minute. They've got that learn. Don't they have
learn go in the search bar there, and just whatever your basic questions are.
This thing here. We have this site called learn.wordpress.org, which has tutorials and lesson plans. Oh, I didn't like that one. There we go. That's better. So, wow. Dry.
I mean, it looks better than it was.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally just documentation when I started reading it, and I would read it to go to sleep at night. It was great for that. I did learn a lot, but it was great to help me get to sleep.
Well, I mean, wait a minute. Travis, didn't you go here to figure out how to do a full site editor block theme?
No, because I couldn't find anything.
Oh, no. Yes, you did, and it was great, Travis.
It made you fall asleep. That was it. Yeah.
What about WordPress TV? Does anyone? I haven't been there in a while. But has anyone gone over there?
I mean, mostly the WordPress TV is typically just
speakers, but
well, they're basically drop stuff from WordCamp Europe. That's pretty much all they are, is the sessions and stuff from the different WordCamps. Yeah. Now, I don't even think they take local WordPress meetup stuff anymore. So
But there might be something in general that they could
I mean, there might be.
watch.
There might be a useful one here. I always point people to LinkedIn Learning just because
Yeah.
I know that Morton Rand Hendrickson did stuff there, and Carrie Dills did stuff there, and Allie Nimmons did stuff there, and all three of them are really good instructors. So, but the problem with Carrie's and Morton's is their WordPress 5. They haven't been touched since WordPress 5. And Allie's is the most recent one. And even like LinkedIn Learning, I don't even think they've got, let me see. LinkedIn Learning courses, share this tab instead. Okay. So when you're, oh, that's not good. Hang on. Let me go to that page. Come on. Seriously? Gerg.
I will say I figured out why I couldn't find the
theme
development stuff.
Wow. Talk about confusing. That was really weird. You know what I mean? It was a completely different website experience. So, like I said, the first one that comes up is the WordPress Essential Training by Allie Nimmons. That's actually released in 2023. That's more recent than the one I linked. I need to fix that. But you've got Coding Practices 2023, Learning Elementor. Oh, there it is. First look, WordPress full site editing. Did you go there?
No, I actually did find the No, seriously. I was just like sitting here. I'm looking.
Sorry, we're picking up Travis because
no, legitimately, I just found the developer's guide to block themes on the Learn WordPress site. But the reason I couldn't find it before, like just Google searching, because as one does,
yes,
it's hidden behind a login.
Here.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What kind of login?
Like you have to log into WordPress.org and then like click like take course. So like that's why none of it was like coming up like when just searching for it.
Weird.
Oh, that's so convoluted.
That's really weird. Huh. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few courses here. Some are recent, everything about plugin. Allie's done a lot. Wow. Okay. Yeah, building a secure site. She's done quite a few classes. Hey, puppy. Building challenge themes. Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of stuff here. Not too bad. So I think there's Morton's gone more into the developer side, I think, as his stuff is kind of diverted into that side of the world. So
does this one have some block editor stuff, or
I'm looking, I'm not seeing too much. There's creating block patterns, but there's not like learning the block editor and stuff like that. But I'm guessing Allie does that in hers because this is the nice thing about LinkedIn Learning that I like is you get the full contents of the class even without actually taking it or paying for it. So you can kind of check it out, and they have like little you can check out pieces of it sometimes. So like if there's a like here, I think you can see like the opening part here.
I did not know it's possible.
I did not know it's possible either. Yeah, they've got a whole thing on here on blocks, but that's specific. It's not really talking about themes per se. Yeah, she doesn't talk about themes at all. I don't think. Yeah, she doesn't. So she's probably just using the basic default theme in this one. So anyway, fascinating stuff. Yeah, that was one of the other questions that came up that we were trying to figure out the best way to discuss was how to redesign a site or how do you choose a theme for your website. And that's a hard question to ask or answer sometimes because, it depends on really what you're looking for. Like with the block editor and block patterns and themes like GeneratePress and Cadence and some of the others.
If you're just trying to do something like modifying something that came out of the box, if you're looking for something custom, and if you're going the more custom route, what's your experience level with WordPress? Are you just getting started? Have you been with it a while? Like there's so many different.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to answer.
From that magic 8 ball again, shake that thing up.
Yeah. Mine comes down to is like I'm very averse to using anything that's trying to not use the block editor because that's where WordPress is right now, and that's not going to change. WordPress isn't going to suddenly go tomorrow and say, okay, we're done. We're not doing the block editor anymore. We're going to go with something else. Or at least I don't think they're going to do that because they've completely bought into the block editor for WordPress.com. So I don't see that going away at any point in time. So trying to use a theme framework that doesn't embrace the block editor is a bad idea, I think, because then you're buying into that theme framework like Elementor. You're totally bought into Elementor. You have no choice. That's where you are. You're stuck there. I mean, granted, you may like being stuck there. Maybe that's your Winn-Dixie or your Publix. I don't know. But that's not my Winn-Dixie or my Publix. I'd rather go to Trader Joe's or Whole Earth or Whole Foods or Aldi's. So I tend to focus on themes that have completely embraced the block editor, like GeneratePress. And Cadence? Not Cadence. Astra? No, Astra's got its own
Cadence is
framework. Yeah, Cadence embraces the block editor. Yeah. So
there was that new theme that came out, Ollie.
Ollie. Yeah, that one definitely embraced the block editor completely. Even like embraced the whole full site editing. GeneratePress hasn't done that because I don't think their menu bar or their headers are not full site editing. But I'd rather use GeneratePress's menu headers anyway. But that's just me. Yeah, so there's options. That's one of those kind of things. And when you're coming down to like redesigning a site, honestly, I say always focus on content first. There's a talk I did. I did it at where was it in Bradenton? It's called Plan Before You Build. And what it basically talks about is how to build up your content strategy before you actually build your website. And the whole point is that, or the whole point is to understand is what's your audience? What are you trying to promote on your website? What's the purpose of the website? Its primary purpose, and what is it supposed to do for you? And focus on organizing your content first, and the design will just kind of happen as part of that. As long as you have well-organized content in a nice, consistent flow, you're going to get a good design. Because that's the whole point is that if your content is well organized, if your content is consistent, it's going to be searchable, organic, and easy to follow when people go to the site. Like if you go to a realtor website like Redfin or Zillow or one of those kind of things, you know what you're going to find. You know that when you go to Zillow, you're going to go, let me see. Share one. Oh, view tab. Yeah, there we go. So when you're on Zillow, you know that you're going to see a block at the top for your zip code, and you're going to see listings of houses or apartments or that kind of thing. And when you're on that listing, it's got a very consistent layout. It's pretty much like pictures on the left and details on the right. You got an overview. Everything is completely laid out in the same way, so that no matter which listing you look at, it's all going to be, all of its information is going to be in the same place. It's going to have an overview, a facts and features, a home value, a price and tax, etc. And having a consistent layout is what makes Zillow and Redfin and Amazon and stuff like that work so well. And Etsy, because they all operate the same way with their content. And that design, that layout, that structure is based on figuring out your content structure first and letting the design follow your content structure, I think. So
can you click on any of those photos to see a larger version of it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
All right, fine. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, we're not here to go looking at it. Did you want to see that house?
No, I just wanted to see how it worked. The website.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's kind of, I mean, if you click on that, it kind of pops up an overlay picture.
Okay.
Light box.
Yeah, black box.
The light box. Okay.
A light box. That's the word, light box, not black box. And you can kind of go through, oh my God, this house is horrible. And they're selling it for $92,000. Jeez. Anyway.
Seems underpriced.
Seems underpriced, definitely. Okay. Alrighty then. I think that hits all of our questions. Steve out there says, good evening. Good evening, Steve. We have 2 viewers, guys. It's amazing.
Yay. Hi,
Yay! Yeah, so we're at 49 minutes. We have answered all of our questions from our group of people. And let's put us back in a little group together. Let's see, where are we? That's us? Or is that us? Or is that us?
Not that.
I don't know. I don't know
That's a
what we
moldy
are.
house.
There we go. Yeah. Anyway, so let's do our little our in-brand stuff. So we have our like I said, we are WordPressTampaBay.org. You can visit our website at wptampabay.org. Please like and subscribe to us on YouTube. It helps our basically it helps us possibly get monetized, which is kind of the goal, because we need to be able to pay for our hosting and stuff like that for the website, and to bring more amazing things to you guys. So please like and subscribe on YouTube. It helps our doobly-doos or our viewership or something. And I think that's it on the big stuff. Yeah, that's it on the big stuff. So we will see you next month, November 19th, here again in this exact same place, at this wonderful place here. Oh, wait a minute. Someone's asking a question. I'm trying to add a submenu sidebar style using Elementor onto my WordPress website. We're probably going to have to hit you next month on that one, because I am not an Elementor person. But tell you what, we will try to figure out how to answer that. Either we'll do it in the comments on YouTube, or we'll bring it into the November call. Sorry, Steve.
It's a good question for the Facebook group.
Yeah, good question for the Facebook group. Throw that in the Facebook group, and we will handle it there. Definitely. Okay. All right. So we are wrapping up. We will see you guys next month, November 19th. Same bat channel, same bat place. Travis, Jennifer, Elaine, thank you so much, as always, for being here. You're wonderful. I couldn't do this without you. And without further ado, as soon as I find it, I will play our end cap piece. It's an overlay. Where's the end cap videos? There it is. Found it. Okay. Jim, be more scripted. All right. See you guys all next month. Thank you for watching a recorded session from WordPress Tampa Bay Meetup. We meet monthly through Meetup on live stream on the third Tuesday of the month through our YouTube channel and Facebook group. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up in YouTube, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified of new videos. Find out more about WordPress Tampa Bay at our website at wptampabay.org. Thanks.